is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless. What is up, everyone? It's your main man, your sorcerer supreme, Frank Castle, your host of Fearless, right here each and every Saturday night on YouTube. I want to give you guys a shout out to the Fearless family, to everyone at home. Just a little insight into the group right here. This is the Fearless family group. You come here, you answer the question. It's a big deal, right? You get in, you can enjoy some of Robert Hawley's amazing meditations, as well as everyone's information that we're sharing. We're making connections from around the world. We're bringing it right back to everyone. So you could take that energy and lock that into your grid, into the zone when you're locked in at home on this wonderful weekend of not being allowed to go out in New York City. And I'm joined by my etherical translator and co-host, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
So we do a lot of things together in the Fearless group. We get a lot of motivation from each other. Our very existence and being here is just so important. And the information that comes across, it's not just Frank. I ran into someone today who is just, it's like one of those guys that are detrimental to your health. Like they ask you these questions, you answer them, and they deny them 100%. And I'm like, look, man, it's cool. You're allowed to believe what you believe and you do what you do. But here, this is how we roll, right? The might of the 300. So I appreciate each and every one of you. In this time that we're here together, we got a lot of information to share. This goes beyond just the beings and the DMT and the stuff, but as well as, it's all there. I'm going to try to share some stuff with you guys tonight. I don't do it enough because I feel like by the time I get to you on Saturday, which I should be, I'm a little angry at myself, but I'll get over it. We are, I got to do more live stuff. It's not that I've been slacking. I've been so involved and wrapped up with myself, with my upgrades, that sometimes I forget, right? Like to do more or to do it and share it with others. Just a little note I'm going to read that I had from my LSD experience.
Are you this is from last week?
Yeah, I didn't finish.
Okay.
I just wanted to read it. I was crying about Parker and I was writing a song. I was making more connections. I could see the alchemy of it all working, unlocking at a higher frequency, thinking, let's make thinking fun again. The golden path then reveals itself. The golden insects then come forward. We discussed that all last week. Here's the note to myself, sitting with myself with headphones and cats, just loving myself, feeling my body again, speaking to the cats, being about how real everything's gonna get. big F yeah I have on the paper, right? I have the feeling of growing and becoming bigger. I look over it. It was me, Roxy, Reggie, and Teddy. And we all connected at one point. And I just wrote love across the bottom of the page. It was like everyone there understood everything at that point. Right. And that's what I got lost in. And so more is coming. More is coming forward. Who's meowing like that?
Oh, two guesses.
Yeah. Oh, that's singing.
Yeah,
That's singing. Okay. I'm gonna try to do some. I'll do it off the side in a minute. But we have great meditations, great people in the group. Let me share my screen. Where am I? There I am. What's up, everyone? Shout out to everyone in the chat room. I hope everything sounds good. It sounds good. You could see me. Okay. Greetings. Jay, there's Paula.
Just
Kings and Queens,
serving
Nicole.
water to the cats.
Shout outs to you right now for bringing it up because it's part of tonight's broadcast. The information is insane and it involves every single one of us.
Right. Hello, everyone.
Being kings and queens, right? That might be too much. That's right in my eye. Get out of here, man. So I greet every single one of you, king and queens. They always say, how come in your story, everyone's always a king and a queen in their story? And it's, well, that's the truth. That's absolutely the truth. Yeah. But we'll get to that in a minute. So we got a lot of things going down. Shout outs to Angela Miller.
Yes. And Aaron.
And shout outs to Space Jesus, Aaron Kessler. So some of us have decided during the quarantine and the lockdown to go on the ultimate journey.
Yeah.
Right. But
badass.
Total. As everything's locking in, well, before it's locked down 100% or anything like that, they decided to go out and they're basically, I think they're riding the grid, redropping all the new stuff, cementing it. They
Anchoring in
all the new energies.
Like that, yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm awake.
Yeah, you're really awake.
Let
me see something here. Let me just try to play with this. There you go.
Thank you.
That wasn't her this time. That was all me. Yeah. I set it up.
No, I'm feeling good. I'm awake. I had Aaron and Angela came to visit us this week, earlier in the week, and we had a great time. It was funny. I laughed the whole time, but the energy knocked me out. And Angela did this healing on me that
the signs are up all over the house.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. I know, Ellen, we have not taken your signs down. We're making sure everyone knows not to
can't see it. The light's right on it.
But they're up, and by Ficus Tree, she's up too. And
so Angela did some stellar work on you. She did a lot
of energy work and healing on me, and it is amazing. And everything that she described was exactly what I was feeling. And it was almost like this pulling me in two different directions. So she did this energy work, and it took so long, and I felt so terrible because she was here to be with us, and she decided to take some of the time that she was sharing with us to help me. And I thought that was just a beautiful experience. But I think I closed out lifetimes and lifetimes of old contracts, unwanted residual, I would say bleed through things you carry over from one lifetime from another.
Right.
Lifetimes she cleared out. Physical pain, emotional pain, but it took me 2 days to recover from the energy work. That's how strong it was. But I feel good. I feel like my sleep patterns are still off, but I feel like it's coming to an end. I feel like all of it's. I feel like we're pushing through to the end now, so I'm okay. I'm good.
Well, this is it. This is that moment.
I know.
This
Well, we've
is
been talking about this for a long time now.
this is
So.
what everyone is
Oh, I know.
been
I'm
waiting
touching my
for.
face.
Touch my face. Really, really, mucho love. I love you so much, and now I'm sending you most positive vibes.
Thank you. That's very sweet.
I can't wait till we could really Care Bear stare people like hardcore, where you could just see it jump off the right.
That's very sweet. Thank you, and
It
thank
would
you
say
for all the nice comments.
Fearless, and it would just hit you in the chest.
We really do
Power up.
have a great family, a great community here. Uh, and it is a safe space. It's supposed to be a safe space where people can come and share their experiences and their ideas and their thoughts and not be judged for it. Which is why it's important to Frank and I, because we created this platform so everyone could say what they needed to say without being judged.
We wanted to make it like our
Comfortable.
house,
Absolutely,
like our home.
absolutely. When you come here, there's no judgment. Everything's on the table. You can talk about anything you want. That's just how it is. That's just how we are.
Well, that's how it should. You should be able to do that, because how else are we supposed to get the info out without people going, "Hey, man, you're crazy"?
Oh no,
this,
absolutely. And just the chat folks.
Or what Frank
amazing.
said's a lot, but what Nicole said's too much. So you're out of here. No, we can't do that. You can't. Right? You got to take a little bit of the whole picture, because we're all holding a puzzle piece. That's how this is going to go down. Mm-hmm. And it's something I really wanted to talk about is in the collective consciousness with everything that's happening. I want to bring just something to everyone's attention while it's on my mind fresh, because I didn't write this one down. Oh, I did actually. So
yes,
we were looking at a photo today of it was like a multiple photo
of
what could have been Planet X or Nibiru, or
mm-hmm.
another thing. I don't know, right? So I'm looking at it, and it was pretty obvious. So it was under all the different camera lightings, and they were showing it. And it was the sun, and it was two other planetary objects, right? And I said to myself, wow, everything that's happening right now that's happening. Then I thought to myself, it's funny. And I say this every week when I talk about like how the chemtrails have been moving in and out, like they blow in and then all of a sudden they blow out, almost like a chess move, right? Like the bad guys are making the move, chemtrail, and then the good guys come in, dragon breath, all gone, push it away. Right now, it got crazy here for a little bit with these chemtrails every day. It's been nuts. Now they want us home. They want us inside. They want us all these things under the guise of the pandemic. And the virus is real. However, it is what you guys already know what it is, right? Like it'll affect you if you're not healthy, respiratory.
Right. And we're not going to talk about it,
blah,
but
right? We don't give it life.
It's the fearing that's going on around it. It's the fear spiraling.
Right? Now, while that's going on, we've seen military trucks in Manhattan, right? Like just and all over other places. And each day the lockdown, it gets a little tighter. Now, yes, separating yourself will help the spread. Unfortunately, see, there's two sides to this whole thing. Unfortunately, they're spraying it, right? So you're being sprayed with it, and then they're telling you that it's you licking doorknobs or something and eating bats, and that's how this thing is getting out, right? Okay, so now that we got that down, they've been spraying at the time of the day. Now I'm just going to relate back to the photo because I don't really
chemtrailing.
They've been chemtrailing not only to push that agenda, but they also have to block the sun at the highest point, or in certain directions people can perhaps perceive this stuff, right?
Okay.
So now it's like a 2-for-1 deal right there. We're going to chemtrail them and spray them. We're also going to block out the sun and do all that other stuff, and we'll get our desired effect on the weather, as well as blocking out the visual for this other planetary incoming object. Now, I'm not a big proponent to Planet X and everything, but something happened to me outside earlier
today, earlier today.
Yeah,
right?
when I wrote this down, when I was writing for today's show, I thought it's so I'm watching everything literally happen that everyone's ever talked about, right? You got the NWO takeover. You got the good guys trying to help. You got the UFO things going on here because there's more sightings and all that. You got the chemtrails. You got this. You got that. Everything's going on. And at the same time, it's supposed to be the return of the Anunnaki. Oh, here comes Planet X. Oh, we're going into 5D. Oh, everyone's waiting for the return of Jesus, but these guys are waiting for the return of Muhammad. These guys are waiting for this.
Right.
These guys are waiting for the planet to blow up. Well, technically, check this out. All of the theories and everything everyone's ever talked about is happening at the same time right now.
Yeah.
Upgrading. This guy was telling me today, oh, you're not going to upgrade and transform in anything. I said that the minute my awareness goes from what it was to what it is at that now moment,
That is the upgrade.
I've
Yeah,
transformed.
You already did it.
Right? So I'm not going to wear a cape like that. It's not going to be like that. However, we're going to shine. So you can, what your belief system is cool for you. And what ours is cool for us. Right? So keep it off my wave. Now, all of that is happening, though, as well as you creating your own reality, pulling in the mass super consciousness, deciding to go to the optimum timeline, pulling in the 5D, the ascension. Why wouldn't there be technically a rapture somewhere? Check this out. What if, because this is a big science experiment in the fishbowl, let's just say a certain sect of ETs, right, had maybe too many people here. Maybe too many. And the governments of the world, hey, stop doing that. The governments of the world opt to be like, yo, you guys need to get out of here or we're going to remove you
off
planet. Right? And then you watch them get raptured. And then it looks like the beings are in the human suits. Right? But maybe you're not supposed to be here because you don't know how their human suits running. You don't know what the cloaking technology with whatever's there. And I mean, this goes into everything. Right? So then you watch them just like fly up into the air into spaceships, right? And you're like, wait, what? So why wouldn't there be a Jesus character on a cloud at the same time as the return of some planet, at the same time as trying to remove the reptilian presence, at the same time the government truther stuff is all coming to light? They want to arrest this one and make moves on that one. Man, I can't, all it looks like is chess to me. And I got to have my faith that it's going to work out because inside I'm being shown, told, and I'm understanding ain't nothing going to happen. Like, not here. We rise. So that goes for all creators. All you do is make the choice and then walk the path, which is really difficult for most people to do. Am I ranting?
Yeah, but go ahead. This is your moment. You've been waiting for this. This is gold time for you. You've been waiting for this for a long time. Go right ahead.
Everything Paula and I, how about this? Everything
from
I've
day one.
ever said on radio.
From day one.
From back in the truther days. Now, so we're going back to 98 before there was a truth movement where it was just cool to have cool music and be like, this is what I think, the system. Okay. From then to now, it's never wavered. But each one of those groups, the truthers, the UFO guys, the Sasquatch people, the interdimensional portal people, the people at the jump gate situation and the Stargate technology. We're going to get into some stuff about Paula tonight. And you're going to go, wait, what? So Stargate technology, cloaking devices, space forces that we're unaware of, the deep state, the deeper state, the sphere being alliance, the spheres in the sky, the sun and the solar flash, the event itself, right? What are they doing? They're making, first of all the preppers, right? Like just pick a group, right? You could even go to the bad guys and with their group is it's the end of the world as we know it, right? And I'm going to watch it all burn. I've heard of that a bunch of times. Maybe where you're at, it will burn. Maybe if enough of you think that, those spots will burn.
But they already did because people thought. Right?
This is what I'm saying. See, my anchor isn't of that. So that's not going to happen here. People are so nice and it's dead quiet outside.
I know, but people have been very good here.
Very nice.
No one's.
Don't let the media push the nonsense.
Yeah,
the stores
everyone's behaving
for the elderly.
Yeah.
They allow
yeah.
them their
Our
own time.
Yeah, our landlady was able to order food. She was able to
She's
order
99.
food over the
She'll be
phone and
100
have it
in a month.
delivered. No, next year. She's 99 now.
Well, we could just round it up at this point. Right. So, all right. So all of this from every group, right? Every group, everyone, from the crazy one to the rich one to the absurdly poor one to the people like us, right? The people out there, the AI, the nanos, and the this ones and the those and the grays, and right? But it's all happening.
Yeah.
All of it is coming to the singularity point,
Precipice.
to the precipice.
It's all happening now. It's all culminating. It's all happening now.
Okay,
Everything that Frank has talked about since the beginning, it's like it's go time. Frank has so much information. This is go time for Frank because he's been talking about this. The banks, the government shutdowns. He's been talking about keeping cash on hand. He's been talking about not being able to use the internet.
Gold, silver, Bitcoin.
If things shut down for 10 days, 2 weeks, 3
food,
weeks.
storable food, water.
This is go time for Frank because this is everything that he's been talking about is now coming and people are seeing it. Like, we were talking about it.
And it's not an I told you so. This is it.
No, not at all. This is like
is
his
the
go
moment.
time. We were talking about the feds printing money. Every country, they're just printing more and more money. We're at 0% interest rates, which are not good. The bank 0% interest rate. Because then it changes what they can have as assets. And then we lose money. We have to pay them. So, this is everything that we've been talking about for the last almost 5 years. And, it's preparedness. Do the things you need to do to be prepared.
All right. Now, what comes next? Think of everyone's card, right? The cards being drawn. This is that pandemic scenario, right? Where everyone gets locked in, it gets to martial law perhaps. And what do you think you should be doing during this time while all this is happening, right? Like the government, Trump, right, wants to pay you, right? We're going to talk about this guy I saw yesterday, right? We'll throw it in right now. He said, they lock this place down and give a curfew. I'm going out. This dude's like 60, so he's just talking out of his rear end. But he acts like a tough guy. He can't even bend over and tie his shoe. He's like, I'm going out. I'm an American, and I'll start busting stuff up. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
So what do you mean busting? You're 65 years old. What are you busting up?
Go back home.
Right? And then I go, you realize he wants to. Now, this isn't me sweating what Trump is doing. It's not me.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Just listen to this situation and how this plays out.
A way of thinking.
So this guy is
already trying to incite a problem. Nothing happened, and already
he's the atypical guy here, right? That's him.
I'm gonna cause trouble.
There's like a 40% Bronx. That guy's the archetype.
I don't think it's 40%. Well, I think boredom is what's going to get to people.
So there's a lot of people stuffed on top of each other, not doing anything, wondering how this is going to go down, right? So I go, well, he wants to give you like $1,000, $1,200, maybe $2,000 a month per person,
whatever it is,
whoever's in the residency. And he went, what? Oh, I would stay home for that. I go, that's why he's doing it, because it's cheaper to give you $1,000 and keep you sitting on your couch.
Oh yeah.
While this is happening, then pay the $1 billion per square acreage that gets destroyed
for
across the entire United States.
All the insurance company.
It's 350 million people or whatever. Okay, give them all $1,200 a month. They don't have to pay taxes on it. They can pay their rent, suspend this, suspend that. They're doing that to drain the deep state. And so you don't go out and start smashing glass. Now, mind you, now everyone's home. Okay. Domestic violence is up 40%. straight up.
Is it?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Statistics went through the roof. People listening to the cop radios are like, dude, it's all domestic violence calls. Nobody's doing anything, but they're on top of
I
each other.
told you this is look.
Getting a download right now.
Look, we are lucky that the two of us like each other so much, okay? Because could you
It goes
imagine
beyond love. We
being
hang
with
out.
your being with your kids and your spouse 20, it's like a weekend that never ends. I mean, that's got to make anyone
Yeah, see, this
no,
is the thing. Now
that's
you're
got to make anyone
forced,
crazy. Yeah, you're
right,
forced
to
stay in.
to stay in. So mothers that had the day to do whatever, or maybe they worked, and while the fathers worked, let's just start there for a second, right? Because there's a lot of scenarios. I'm not breaking down every one,
Oh,
but this
no,
is my
please.
point to all of it, is that we've been built, you and I have been building the entire time we've known each other to this moment.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we hang,
This is
we're
Frank's go
singing and
time.
dancing.
Yeah.
Not because this is happening,
No.
because we're together and we know, okay, you can't go out, you can't do this. I can't go see my grandfather. My mother don't want me over the house. Fine. So I'm sending love to everyone from here.
We're not allowed over.
I'm
because
not
we had company.
gonna
at the
sit
beginning of the
here.
week.
Right? My mother was like, "Well, I'm watching the TV. I can't stop fearing everything."
Stop. Yeah.
Stop.
Turn it off for a little while. Just
I'm in here
update
singing and
yourself.
dancing. Well, you don't know. What don't I know? Okay, you tell me. What don't I know? Explain it to me. You can't, because I've been saying it the whole time, right? And I'm not saying I told you so. I'm saying you need to calm down and just chill. Put some music on. Put your favorite movie on, right? Go watch The Matrix again. Watch how different it is. Wait, we watch anything and then it's always there.
Oh, a clue.
Yeah, we watched Sausage
yeah.
Party once, that dirty Pixar movie with Seth Rogen, and the whole ending of that was the most amazing reveal. Remember, they were all walking out. They all thought they got eaten by the. I don't want to ruin it for no one, but it's us. It's the great, awakening and stuff. And it was totally unexpected because they're all food products that run around. Life outside of the supermarket, what it's like. Okay, anyway. It's everywhere, and it's in everything, and it's always been, right? So you're gonna get the reptilians and the pedophiles. You're gonna get the downfall of the church. You're gonna get destruction in some spots. You're gonna get earthquakes, and there's been multiple. Check this out. Go figure this. You out there, tell me, explosive experts or earthquake people, at 5.2 earthquake to 5.5 is pretty rough, right? But how come certain areas are experiencing the exact same magnitude? It doesn't go higher. It doesn't really go lower.
Yeah.
It's between 5.5 and 5.2. Go look at the map at that. All right. There's one in upstate New York and this and that, right? Where all the theories of the underground bases being, where they're doing horrendous stuff, where there's tunnels to get away, right? Places being closed off and people getting in trouble. Look, so we've talked about this, right? So we didn't know back then what 3 days of darkness would be, right? Or there was a lot of these 10 days of darkness, 3 days of darkness.
Oh,
who knows?
A couple of years ago when they were saying if the government shuts down 6 days, it'll cripple the country, and they proved that didn't happen. The government had been shut down a lot longer than 6 days, and
is it a perfect storm, or is it a divine thing? We're going to get into that tonight too.
Oh, I think it's both.
It is the perfect storm because of the divine timing of the whole thing.
I think this is behind this huge distraction.
Massive distraction, which will have you guessing every rabbit hole.
Which is part true, part orchestrated, part true, part necessary, part unnecessary. I mean, you can feel any way you want about it. Nothing you feel is going to change the outcome. This is happening. They want to see how the states will respond.
This is live, yo.
During states of emergency, and we are doing exactly what they want us to do. So this is like a dry run for something bigger to come. And so far, so good. It's working. So this is the perfect storm because through behind this big distraction, there is a lot of covert work being done. And that's why they're saying this virus might extend till August, because I think it's going to last as long as they need to get the work that they need to do undercover
Right.
done.
And then, so check it, as a creator, you
Yeah.
and I are
multiple
we're
levels
together.
of work that they're getting done
Yes, like
on every front. I mean, the government's going to the multiple levels of work that are getting done. It's like the cleaning house is not even the right way to describe all the work that's being done on so many different levels.
just think about, all right, when we're under Aya, some of the times or mushrooms even, they scan you and they find the whatever area of infection in you. We'll call it an infection, parasitic attachment, whatever. And they go to that, and then they remove that, right? And now the parasite that's been eating, he poops all over the place because he eats, then he poops, right? So they open that area, and it'll look like, and I don't mean to be like this, but I do, a dirty toilet, right? The whole area is dirty. They're like, yo, dude, you got to clean this, right? And it's a metaphor to get this out of here.
Get it
right. So and then it opens again, and you're like, man, I thought I was done with this. Then you have to follow a stream all the way down here from all the way up here, because it was making me choke and gag, and then it was wrapped around my sacral chakra. Then I travel that line, find that thing, remove it. It's a lot of work, right? It's very detailed, because then another layer opens up. Another slice of the color of red within the chakra has something in it. It's Nick Zervos had a good one. He said, this is like trying to move red dye from water, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you can do that.
You can't take the blood out of the water, right? Can't do it.
We're learning how. So one of the things we're learning is how to be together, right? Like, and legitimately, like, we don't sit here and go, let's see how to be together. Like, we just live our lives, right?
You and me?
You and I.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Wait, hold on. I'm bringing it through the whole thing. Okay. So you and I have been prepping the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, just building what we feel is our perfect relationship, right? We talk about it. We discuss stuff.
Your mother told us we were going to get fat because
I said, no, just you. Just you. She goes, I'm on my, you can't come here and hang out, but
I'm on my sixth walk.
I'm on my sixth walk today.
Yeah. So you said we were baking. And she
I said we were baking.
You're both going to get fat.
Anyway, so we're having our moment to learn to live together without having to work, right? Where you can be home and chill with your family. Now, I've heard the other side of this. My kids, bro, you don't understand. And I'm like, I don't need to understand. I was a kid. I know what it's like. And I was nuts. Guess what? I'm still a kid and I'm still nuts. But you know what? You have to learn, right? Well, what happened when we were in caves and there were bears outside, right? And you had to like take a rock and put it in front of the cave till the bear left. Would you beat your kids inside the cave? No, you learned how to get along with them, and you did stuff. You told stories, you sang songs, you did.
Are you telling people you're going to be telling people what they should be doing with their kids?
No, I'm telling you to be with each other. Stop beating the shit out of each other and getting angry at every little thing. But see, this is the great revealing. Listen, you're going to see a lot of little things that you don't like, right? And then you're going to say to yourself, is that what I want to do? Or do I want to be like, let's handle this. Would you like to step outside? See? Classy, done like a gentleman. No, I'm just playing.
I'll step outside.
Paula and I have been having, I think, at least a good couple of days.
Oh, we have.
Like laughing.
We have. So we were at the point at the end of the week where we had leftovers, and we had to eat them because now
you have to eat everything.
Especially now we don't want to waste it.
No wasted food.
No wasted food. So Frank was being very assertive yesterday, and he was like, we're not cooking any new food. We're eating all these leftovers. And he was like being very assertive about it. And I just looked at him and I was like, all right, okay. What would you like to have first? And he was like, oh, okay, we're doing it. And I was like, yeah, you declared it. So now it will be.
Absolutely. See, we
Did you shave did
Just
you shape it?
spots.
You did. You shaped it though.
Yeah.
Your beard. It
Yeah.
looks good.
Oh, I didn't mess up, did I?
No, no, no. I'm looking at it. It looks very clean on the top. Look,
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up? The after party's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
We got the glow sticks ready and everything.
everyone, this is training to right, like, so if the future comes in non-NWO, right? Say the reptilians are gone, the grays are gone, the cabal's gone. Let's just say for a second, right? And what are you shaking your head for?
I'm listening. I'm listening. Good.
Well, do you disagree?
I
with
don't think
something, if it's
anything's
a theory?
all gonna be okay. It's a theory. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm with you.
So in the future, you'll have devices, connectivity, productivity done by machines, right? You'll have all this other stuff. You'll be able to get in your car and it'll, on the optimum timeline, you'll have Tesla technology, free energy, this, that, the other
Oh
thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
So what are you supposed to do with your free time when you're free all the time?
Shit
And
you
if
love.
the wealth comes back to the people, right? You gotta, and you don't have to
Look,
go to
it
work
doesn't
every day.
matter if
What
look,
do you wait? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna contribute? What are you prepared to do? This is that moment where you face the stress, so you have respect for this stuff. It's like you won't understand money until you lose some of it,
no,
right?
until you respect it.
Until you respect it.
Okay, because this redistribution of money, you're going to see people that didn't know how to handle money before, because they're given this money, they are not going to know how to handle and respect it now if they didn't before. So you can give everyone the same amount of money, and money will fall into the hands of people who respect and know how to deal with money. It's a fact. It because money is energy and people don't equate the two. Okay? Money is an exchange of energy. And energy, the energy that you put forth into things needs to be respected. And if you don't respect it, and if you're thinking from a place of lack and scarcity, that money that's given to you is going to go just as quickly as all the money that went before.
Yes.
So you need to change your idea about money.
We have to rebuild quite a bit about the theories of money, the
Right.
ideas of money, and
Right.
everything else. How you take care of yourself, how you help take care of others, how you handle your business. It's all going to change right now. Right? So you can choose to go crazy and run out and get too much toilet paper that you're not going to use and you're hoarding against people that can't really get it before you. All based on what the little black box is telling you.
Right.
Right? That's
Be informed.
programmed.
Don't be afraid. Listen, get the updates, find out what you need to know, and then turn the TV off and do something else.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of you've been doing a lot of crafting.
Oh,
I've
I
been
know.
getting my writings together because now
oh,
I finally got time to sit and just do stuff.
okay. So I have to come clean because I'm gonna have to tell a story anyway.
Oh snap!
So Ellen, this is for you and Aaron. I had promised Ellen that I would make her a little stuffed owl, and I started making it, and I sent her a picture of what it started to look like. Oh, can you put some more water in mine too?
Yes.
Thanks, babe. And as I'm crafting it, I'm realizing that this is not for Ellen. Like I'm making it. My intention was to give it to her. I sent her a picture of what it may look like, but I'm realizing as I'm making it, this is not for her. And we had already firmed up that Angela was coming, and then we had found out that Aaron would be coming as well. So while I'm crafting this out, I'm saying, I think this is for Aaron. I think I'm crafting this and I'm making this for Aaron. And then I said, okay, let me just wait and see what happens when it's completed and which energy it's going to jump to. And it ended up being Aaron's. So, oh, thanks, babe. So when I made it, I was like, I can't give this to Ellen. It wasn't meant for her. And it's funny because the whole Aaron thing was like a last minute. We had no idea he was even coming. This was like a last minute thing. We were so excited to see him, and I said, Aaron, I made this stuffed animal for you, and it meant a lot to him. It had a very huge significance to him, but it had very huge significance to me because my intention was to give it to somebody else. And while it was being crafted, it was like, no, I'm not going. I'm going. My owner is going to be different. And it's funny. It's just funny to me because I was the one I thought I was the one creating, and it turned out that the thing I was creating had other plans. And so I just finished Ellen's owl, and it's in her coffee cup waiting for her for the next time she comes because she has a coffee cup here. So there's a surprise in there for her.
Your creations are wonderful. I'm sorry, I just listen. I broke.
What happened? Oh, Erica Hysterica is at the window. Frankie will tell you who that is. Reggie. Is that her? Oh yeah, just leave it open. It's so bad.
That's the only way to do it right
The
now.
weather's getting warm and these cats are going crazy. They love being outside. No one wants to come home. And it's like, if you don't want to come back, then stop coming to the window and crying. Everyone wants to come in for a snack or a drink of water, and then they want to go back out and play. And it happens like 27 times in an hour.
So, yeah, it gets madhouse here.
Yeah.
I don't want to take away from what you were just telling them.
Oh, I finished my story.
Okay. But I'm going to just bring it back around again. That 10 days of darkness. We didn't finish talking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're home. Everyone's got to get along, learn to get along, right? You got
you
got a few weeks or a week or two.
Oh, this is perfect.
To kind of get your act together. Bring it online, right? You guys got to work a lot faster. The people that haven't done any hard work have to work a lot harder, a lot faster with nothing going on. There's nothing to do, and all you have is things to do. Trust me on this.
Oh, I have 90 things. I have 90 projects. Let me tell you something.
It is so much more fun.
We could do all the spring winter clothes. We could do all the spring winter clothes now. Have
Well,
we done it? No, there's 100 other things to do. We have to redo. We have to clean out this abundance closet. We have to.
People have said
clean
to
it out
us
and reorganize it.
Being with you, you don't ever have the TV on. It's always like the computer
Oh,
monitor or something.
yeah.
You never like watching TV while people are here and everything. And I'm
we
like,
want to be present. That's why we love Ellen so much. She makes you stay present, and it's not anything she forces. It's her personality is so sweet and energizing and powerful that it's like fun. So we told her we think we should be her fairy godparents, and she was like,
yeah,
okay.
We have magic wands and stuff. We float around.
Yeah, so we're her fairy godparents. But you want to stay present, like we were talking, like you and I were smoking a little weed, and I got connected last week, and I didn't want to be connected. I said, no, I'm enjoying my moment here now, and I didn't want to be connected out there. I wanted to be present here.
Yeah. It was almost like everyone that's in the transformation wave of this group pulled it home, right?
Brought it back home. Yeah.
Loved themselves a bunch.
Yeah,
and
you
then,
went through that.
Oh man, I know if I'm going through it, y'all are going through it. And then from that back into my household, and then those immediately around me. How can we help? What can we do? Whatever it is. Small, right? Because you do have time. You're not in a rush.
Yeah, and one of our fearless family, he's a younger gentleman. He posted something about helping an elderly couple find toilet paper. They couldn't find toilet paper in the store, and they were out for a long time. And I thought that was very sweet, and I mean it when I say just be kind. If you have something and someone else doesn't have it, it will not hurt you or take away from you to offer that to someone. Okay, because that offer may be saving their lives. Frank and I talk about small miracles all the time. And when you need coffee or sugar or butter or a few extra tea bags or a couple of extra rolls of toilet paper, and you're offering that to somebody, it's a very big deal. I mean, you can change someone's life just with a small gesture. There is enough. There'll always be enough. If you declare in your life that you will always have enough, you'll have enough.
And it starts with one step.
One
Look,
thing,
I was
one
so in debt
kind
a
thing.
while back, and my mother said to me,
Oh yeah,
we're
your
going to
mom.
do the
Mhm.
33 game, right? You take 33%, and you do pay off the balance of this. You take 33%, you put it away. You take 33%, and you pay out what you have to around you. She goes, listen to me. You're not going to want to do this, and it doesn't sound right up front. It sounds like, oh yeah, on paper everything's easy, right? It's going to be hard for like a month or two, right? And then you immediately see benefits to it. Immediately. And I was able to knock everything out. And I just stayed with that and constructed this way on how to live better, right? Now's the time to live better, to live more. You wanted this. We're here. For those that are like, I didn't want this. Yeah, you did. It's in the collective conscious. Everyone wants change.
Well, it's like these kids, these young kids that are ordering like Uber Eats, and it's like their actual meal costs less than the delivery, and it's like you
You're gonna
don't
spend
realize how much
$50 on a
money you're
burger to
throwing
have somebody bring it over to you. You're right
no,
out of
but
your
it
mind.
doesn't even the delivery costs more.
That's what I'm saying.
Get up and go get it. Not now because no one can leave. Get up and go get
Laziness.
it.
Well, now you're going to be
like,
forced to make it.
but these are
You
these are
want it?
silly
Now go
choices.
cook it.
These are silly choices. No, you can have it, but go get it. Don't.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Your immediate gratification, you have to learn, right? Like if you were in the forest, you have to go kill something, skin it, cook it.
Well, me and Oscar would have to kill it.
My point
skin it,
is, it
and
takes
cook it.
forever
You'd be
to
like,
do.
oh, I don't
And
even.
so if you start getting hungry, you better have something there, or
Right.
you're screwed.
Right.
Okay, so now you're, because that's the Amazon button or the Grubhub button. Blip, send it to me. $50 when Uber brings it, right? And it's a $5 meal, $6 meal. And then if you break down that meal, it's only costing them $1 and change to make it. Right? So you're just getting raped across the board. Now you got to go inside. You got to go make your hamburger. I don't know how to make a hamburger. I want it now. And this is when you learn that mom isn't there for cooking for everyone all day.
Nope.
She's there to teach you
That's
how to
right.
cook. And tonight you're cooking. And tomorrow
Yep.
night you're doing the dishes. Maybe you're doing the dishes every night. You know what? Maybe you should just do the dishes every night and stop complaining, right? Because it's like a meditation level up. You're contributing to something better. You don't have anything better to do. You're not going anywhere. What do you think you're doing? Right? This is that moment where you're like, well, I got told. Yeah, really? Go ahead. Then you go do it. Apparently, this isn't for you. And for those that are ready for the new stuff, it's time. This is how you do it. Before the aliens and before the DMTs and all the weird stuff, you got to get your stuff together now. Right? You can't wig out now, because you wig out now, it's live. You're not practicing. There's no practice. This is it.
Oh, it's go time.
It's go time.
This is it.
You learn how to live with one another. You learn how to help your neighbor. You know what? You got a lot of toilet paper? Maybe you should put something out in front of your house. Like, hey, take one. Well, you just put one out there and then put another one when that one's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying. What's the problem? I'm trying to connect to people logically to do things to get them to mentally create, and you keep.
No, you're right.
You keep jumping in, stuck on. Well,
what
are you doing? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
There you
What
go.
am I doing?
Okay. I don't see you putting toilet paper outside for no one. But we did ask the landlord, right? Anything we can do for you? She's
every
99.
day. We call her every day.
This
go
is
out.
my
We'll
point.
go to the store for you.
The guy upstairs, right? He has a bad knee, right? A little overweight. There's a lot of stairs here. We're grateful we're not on the other floor.
Yeah, we're on the ground level.
Right?
Floor.
So the packages he had were ridiculous. Ridiculous. Grab him, run right up the stairs with him. Let me help you right now. Done. 5 minutes, done. He was, oh, thank you so much. Well, I know your knee's shot. You know, you got to get that looked at. Done. Neighbors are all happy. Everyone's good. Right? You get to take care of your yard. You get to get rid of the things you don't need anymore. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We planted today. We planted today with some seeds. We'll see how they go. We're incubating in an egg carton. We'll see how it goes. and we are planning what we're doing. Last year, we baked cookies for Christmas for
Right.
all of
We
our
got a
friends and family.
signature.
So we had a signature cookie we baked. This year, we're thinking of doing a signature something else. We're not sure yet. Um,
I mean,
but it's all good fun, you
where
know.
does your passion lie?
Yeah.
This is that moment, right? To
What makes think about what makes you happy. You know, a lot of people unfortunately maybe losing their jobs or maybe on maybe laid off indefinitely. Think about what you really want to do. Think about going back to work. If you're collecting unemployment and you hook up with the unemployment agencies, they can help you get back into school. uh I know that there's some incentives out there. You can go to you can go to school for free if you're on unemployment. You know, anyone can take an online class or find out more about something else they're interested. Use this time to really make a change in your life, a change for the better. You know, we all have to do what we have to do to make money, and we all have to do what we have to do to survive. But we should try to be happy while we're doing it. Maybe now is the time to really look and take the time to ask yourself, am I really happy?
yeah.
Is
Or
this really
maybe
what I want to do?
the universe is saying to you, this is not what you're meant to do. It may seem desperate at the moment, but this is why they're saying stay home. Right now, if you want implantable microchips and you believe in forced vaccinations, maybe that's coming to you in your area if that's what everyone's in fear of in that area. Because everything's happening, but there's always those test areas and all kinds of weird things. We're done here. We've implemented we got this, right? We stand in this. We got this. We're back. We are ambassadors to Mother Earth, if that's how you want to look at it. There's a reason why you're here, a very strong, strong purpose. So, once again, this 10 days of darkness, if it comes upon you not losing your lights, it's 10 days of darkness of information. So, no
Oh
internet
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
limited internet. And all the while, that other timeline rides right there, which I don't even believe is right there anymore. It's just a matter of how the public starts to sway. Oh, the NWO takeover. Oh, remember I told you Bitcoin and the blockchain is like the universal, the good guy thing, and then the non-creators that try to control you take that and screw it over and try to create something of a digital 666 mark of the beast system, implantable microchips, et cetera, right? Because they can't create, right? They can only steal the idea and then make it crappy and trap you in it. That's it. That's all they do. So when you're tired of dealing with that nonsense and you stand in your own light, you can see that this other stuff is right there. Now, one thought we've talked about, well, how can my consciousness influence this giant, massive, crazy thing? You don't think like that. You just, at any point when the feather falls on either side of the fence, it can tilt the whole thing one way or another. So, yeah, it counts. Everything you do, like your mental thought towards, I want better. Oh, but I'm worried. NWO, cabal, eating babies. You're like, you're falling into that vibration. If you're like, yeah, they're there and we're here to make that stop, and it's like, well, what are you doing? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Worry about what you're doing.
Well, yeah, it's going to be just there's going to be so much
I'm a
disclosure.
responsible creator. When you call me out like that, you better come to the table prepared, right? So, same here. I was only joking before. Like, what have you done? The point is,
Oh no, I
it
know,
was
but
like
I'm
for
saying there's going to be
everyone,
so
what
much
have you done?
disclosure, like under the guise of everything that's happening. They're going to they're going to shock us, or they're going to try to shock us,
So
and it's going to come in waves. So you think you're getting hit on one front, we're going to get hit
every direction.
in every direction.
You're not going
because
to believe what's
there's
going
going
to
to be
happen.
multiple areas of disclosure, and
And
it's going to be, I have a feeling it's going to be a little frightening and overwhelming.
but you've been chilling
But
from now till that moment that happens.
yes, but we've been preparing to see these things. I think in the alien
Well, the alien card will come right onto the table
yeah,
last,
I think they're gonna play the alien
but you're in
card.
a couple of weeks situation, right?
Yeah,
And then if you
yeah,
really want to push the event, you're only looking at
yeah.
as late as December.
Yeah, there's a lot that they're gonna
So
yeah, there's gonna be a lot of disclosure. There's gonna be a lot of things that are unveiled.
right, say they
Yeah.
want you home. Here was the other thing, right? They want you in the house. All right, 10 days of darkness. You're in the house. How do you know? As well as all this is going on, as well as all that, then you get your energy pouring in from the sun, however you want to call it, the event, the solar flash, or whatever. The new energies pop right out. You're not going to be out riding. You're going to be home chilling. Everything's going to be good. You're going to have a couple of things have been suspended. There's been some debt forgiveness started. There's been all kinds of weird things going on. So everyone's like, wow, this could work. And then there's others going, they're stringing you out. They're stringing you out. You're not wrong, and you're not wrong. However, that within there lies where your faith and your belief system will lock into this planet and ground in, and then you bring in which one you want, right? And then the collective is going to want the better one. They're going to want it.
The better scenario.
We're in the best scenario. Look, nobody's hurt.
Right.
There are people dying. You don't know the bigger story, the bigger picture behind it. I heard that too. That sounded weird.
It's a cat eating.
We don't know. Right? You don't know these. Italy's locked down and people are dying and 800 people. Okay, I get it. That sucks, but you don't know.
You don't know the truth because the news is being.
And then you got to go. Yeah, then you got to go person by person, individual by individual, and then just because I've heard stories that we all know 5G is bad for you, but we all heard the other side of the spear is like maybe we'll be able to detect these things around us a lot easier having this on. Because as you go up the universal scale, they're using like 20G, right? So maybe it's bad if it's just shot at you. Maybe it's bad if it's done with this connector to it. I don't know, right? I literally don't know. But there's always another side to it, right? Because people are like, oh man, the hologram and the AI and the on another level. When we rise through this, you're gonna have that stuff cooking and cleaning your place. You're gonna have the AI to talk to. You're gonna have the Alexa that's not. It's inside of the blockchain technology. It's not going to be recording you and sending it to the government and stuff. It's going to be protecting you. There's going to be things that it does around the house and voice commands where it's not
in this house.
It's not what I'm saying.
Never.
If you're on a spaceship, right?
Well, that's different. If we're on a spaceship, that's different.
We're on a spaceship. I hate to tell you.
All right,
flying through space with no roof. Anyway, so you would say like computer on. Right? Like that's coming, so there's a control system attached to it or one that's not attached to it. Inside the blockchain, you're safe within your own blockchain.
Right.
Okay, right. So then on the other side, there's the Terminator.
Right.
Okay, so there you go. So your choice on how you want to bring this in. I think the fear mongering, there's that wave, and then we get to relax at home. Like you see, it's not that bad. You start getting along with one another. Oh, all of a sudden, it's not Terminators, right? It's not, right? Rob Schneider said it. Like, go ask your neighbor how bad things are. Just go over there and say hello, right? You realize, you got way more in common than you ever thought, and you're smiling in 2 seconds.
There are some people that are just like I texted my nephew because college he can't go to school. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's going to school online, doing his work online. And I'm like, do you have food? Do you have toilet paper? He goes, pooping, I'm good. I have enough toilet paper to last me forever. He goes, food, not so much, but I can find food anywhere. And, so depending on what your state of mind is, this is either the worst thing that's ever happened to you in your life, or it's another thing, and Rihanna made a very good point. She posted that list on Facebook of all of the viruses that have hit for like the last 20 years. And it's like every year or two, it's something. It's like bird flu, H1N1.
Especially election year.
Yeah, and
if you're not seeing the patterns by now.
Yeah, so I mean, you could add up everything, all of the viruses, and you can list them in an order of importance. It doesn't matter. So it's perspective, like for my nephew, this is like, I got, like he's just like, I'm not everything, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
through it, everything's fine. Like he has no fear, like he's not even slightly afraid, and it's because he doesn't know to be afraid, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
But it
Because
also teaches you how to be with yourself,
it does,
right?
because
If we shut social media off,
right,
and then
for a little
for a
while,
little bit,
yes,
right,
because
it teaches you how to
yes,
talk to someone,
yes,
because that age group, they have a
it's
hard
rough. I
time,
know
man,
it's
making
rough. I
communication.
know you're in the same room and you're texting. Look up and say hello. I don't understand that. Anyway, yeah. So according to your perspective, this is either a crisis or a pandemic or something we can get through. Like for us, we could get through it. We're prepared. We're prepared. We're doing the best we can. We're gonna get through it. I've never felt like we won't. Do you know what I mean? But you talk to other people, and it's like their world is literally crashing down on them.
I'm like, show me on a piece of paper where you're hurt.
And I get it. If you're one of
They
these,
can't do it. They make excuses about everything else,
exactly,
and
but
everyone
right.
else, and all it is excuse, excuse, excuse. I'm like, so you're just built this around yourself because there's nothing happening to you. You're fine.
Right. And if something is happening to you, you're going to get through it.
You got to work through it.
Like you've
Part of
gotten,
life.
like you've gotten through everything else in your life up to this point. So if you are being completely impacted by this situation, reach out for the aid that is being offered. Okay? Aid is being offered. Reach out and get as much aid as you can. Be as prepared as you can. Do what you can. Because if you've gotten through everything up until this is not going to be the thing that breaks you. This thing is not going to be the thing that breaks you. And I can say that with certainty. This will not break you. You just have to push forward.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to care about each other now. Right?
Yeah.
We're people now.
Yeah.
You got it.
People first.
People first, right? This is what you want.
Yeah.
A smooth, easy transition. If you believe that Lucifer is going to come flying out of the sky in a thunderbolt and put all you in chains and have sex with all the women and bring Anunnakis back and half this, half that, and then I don't know what to do. That's a fear system.
I mean, I live on
that's not going to happen.
Live on the
You're
ground
the creator.
floor.
You're
if
the
we
magician.
really wanted to go into a fear spiral, we would start boarding up the windows now. Okay?
Now would be the time to do it.
Do you know what I mean? And that's not that.
No,
that's
everyone
not
was
we
outside
are.
in the sun today. I was just standing in the grass, looking up.
Yeah,
people were just walking by, nodding.
Live. Yeah, no one,
Nobody did anything.
Live. It is the energy that you're putting out. Whatever you're putting out, you're going to attract something back. So be careful about what you're putting out, because if you're putting out fear, you're going to get fear back. If you're putting out anger, you're going to get anger back. So just check yourself and think about what you're putting out.
Yeah, that reminds me. I don't mean to interrupt, but we were going to talk about the lady in Costco. I mean, in BJ's.
Oh, in BJ's. Yeah. Tell them the story.
So if anybody's ever seen the movie The Mist, there's a lady in the supermarket with everyone that gets all religious and starts yelling and screaming about at the end of days and everything. And she winds up gathering a group of people. And what they wind up doing is they start sacrificing people to the monsters, or trying to, for those that don't believe in God. Like, it turns into this other thing. Meanwhile, they should just be fighting the monsters, because it's just the mist is a portal to another dimension. Has nothing to do with God. The scientists blew open a hole in time space. We're trying to clean it up, right? Those of you that saw the movie, the end, everything's okay. So
it ends up being okay. So instead of all of these people banding together to deal with the situation
and shutting this lady down,
the situation out there with your aliens, okay, there are people inside fear mongering, okay, and she ends up getting a group of people and convincing them that it's okay to kill. Okay, and this
people that are all locked in together in the
supermarket. So now this is very common. Okay, one person who is riddled with fear will fearmonger and get a group of people riddled in fear and get them to believe that there's only one way to handle the situation. So now we're in BJ's early this week. It was
the
chaotic.
Lines were insane.
The lines were crazy. The aisles were empty. There were shelves with no food. And, you know, Frank and I put our protection on. We went in. There were lines everywhere. We had to maneuver. It was like an obstacle course. And Frank and I just said, "Look, we got to do it. We don't have a choice. Let's just power through and get whatever we can that will help the situation at hand. Don't worry about anything they don't have. Let's just focus on what they do have and get what we can." And with that mindset, we were maneuvering through the store pretty quickly. And now we're online. I mean, even the line worked out for us. This woman, you know,
The way it
the
moves and
employees were basically shuffling people on lines, and this woman, one of the employees, ended up putting us on a line, and we were not on it very long. And Frank's online, and I'm running back and forth and grabbing what I can because I'm small and I could get in tight spaces. So I'm trying to get everything we can. And there's this woman who starts fear mongering.
Oh my goodness. It was
And
exactly
it was
the
just like the
movie.
movie.
She
Yeah,
she was yelling, God is angry with you and you need to repent.
Mhm.
She's screaming this at the top of her lungs. And people are like telling her to be quiet. She's like, "No, you be quiet. You need Jesus." And da, 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 da. And I just looked at Paula and I'm like, look, it's
Yeah,
starting.
just like the movie.
This
You
is
know.
it. My thoughts are honestly, and I'm gonna just be honest, everyone's has a right to do and say whatever they want, right? At the same time,
Shut it
if you
down.
knew that you weren't getting out of there and that was going on, you need to shut that stuff down immediately
Right.
because that turns into, oh, it's okay to take your kid from you and sacrifice it to whatever's on the other side of the doorknob,
Right.
right?
And yeah.
It's easier to just snuff out one. I mean that like a
Problem.
snuffing out a
Right.
fire,
Right.
just putting a
Right.
blanket over it and kind of removing
Exactly.
it. Not actually hurting anyone. There's a million ways to handle these situations, but you shut down that
Yeah.
thing
Diffuse the situation.
because that's pure insanity, right? And that's showing you
Right.
where this can go. That's why it's there because it's been done. It's been done in this world.
Mhm.
People have been part of that. And it's horrible. And that's why it was in a horror movie, right? And then it reflected real life right away, which brings me to something that I don't know if I can I got it down here. So I don't know if I can show anything on here without getting kicked off, but I was something was brought to my attention. Hold on, the internet's a little slow. I'm gonna share the screen. Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, there it is.
There you go. All right,
You're
I gotta
good.
share it. No, I'm gonna share it.
Oh, okay.
Dun, 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 dun,
Okay.
dun.
Mm.
All right, so I'm gonna play this. I don't really care what anyone says. All right, but this is a movie, okay, with the guy that plays Morpheus. What's his name? Well, whatever his name is, the guy from The Matrix, right?
Who? Lawrence Fishburne?
Lawrence Fishburne. Now watch. That's the guy from CNN right now, right? That's doing the fear manga pushing
Okay.
and having the conversations about all this stuff. Hold on. Let me blow this up. Can I blow this up? All right. Sorry about that. There got a little bit cursing going on and it got a little crazy. However, um, we're in a giant play.
Oh, I
We're
think
in a
so,
play.
without question.
Okay.
Without question.
We're in a
You know,
situation where there's a doctored up
but there
script
There's so many reports of that, though. The news has been pre-written across the country.
Everything from The
So many
Simpsons to the
reports of it.
actual news reports, everyone's just reading the
Reading
same
off a
reports.
script, yeah. There was that one reel. Remember, it was the same news across the country. The same, almost the same.
And
words
everyone
being
was just
used.
reading the same things.
Same words.
You hear of even the news people just being actors now. You're just reading a script. There's no more having to be the news guy and this, that, and the other. You know. Could you slide that over, please? So.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
baby.
it's
Here.
okay.
Here. Okay.
So we're seeing this in a lot of different things. So now you're gonna see in live time what's happening, and then what's been presented in the movie, because you know
Word.
the movie date was today. So the date of the movie that you were just looking at with Lawrence Fishburne
Oh, was today's
is
date?
today's date,
Really?
or it was either today's or yesterday's,
Mm.
right? So that's when it was released. Okay, so what's going on? They live, yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked
They
about that
script
last
it, yeah. It's all going down, yeah. Right?
But it's going down on every front, Frank. It's going down politically. It's going down spiritually. He just yelled at me again for talking in the mic. It's going to come down on every front, and people are going to see. People are going to see what they need to see,
Yeah.
or what they can handle seeing. So you're going to have to take it in slow. Lot of stuff is going to happen over the next I think 30 days. Actually, it's already happening. It's already in motion. But I think in 30 days, 60 days maybe.
I don't know. I think things are going to happen way quicker. And I apologize. I'll have the video back on in a minute. Everything from the cartoons that your kids are watching to the comic books they're reading to the things they're being taught in school is designed all the way up through the TV and what the news is telling you, what you're reading in your Bibles of any kind, that have been rewritten by man over and over, and things that have been thumbprinted and imprinted and programmed and reprogrammed and over again in society, being led into a direction to believe a narrative that is false, filled with distractions and lies and deceptions. To quote David Icke, humans, get off your knees. You need to get up now. Playtime is over.
Okay.
You're like
Yeah, take it off.
where we are like big babies, right? Doesn't matter how big your house is and how hard you work. Inside, we got a lot of work to do. Inside, we have a lot of work to do. And this is the time to get that done. Right? Right? Everyone was in fear. You're still in fear about the Bitcoin stuff, right? There it is right there. It showed there was all this massive die off of it. Oh my God, we're going to lose everything. Just hold steady. Watch what happens. Boom, right back up. So look, it's just proving itself. It's in the science.
Yeah. Just
don't panic. You're
panic.
okay.
Don't panic.
Right? You know when you need to panic? You shouldn't ever really panic, but if you need to, do it in a state of emergency situation. Oh, there's lava coming through the front door. There's an intruder. There's a dog about to bite me. Paula looks like she's going to punch me in the face, right? Be proactive with yourself. I get it, right? Go train some jujitsu and get some of that evil energy out, because we got inside work to do from when you didn't get hugged enough as a baby. You weren't breastfed enough, so you got issues. You had a rope, the accordion thing, the cord stuck around your neck as you came out, and there was problems. You came out this way and had to go that way. We had a C-section. We're going back to the beginning. Work to do. Well, I don't have any work to do. Right. You show me a guy that doesn't cry, and I'll show you the biggest bitch in the world. Right? You just leave him with me. Okay? He'll be in tears to release that stuff. Come on. It's okay to be
vulnerable.
It's okay. You'll be all right. All right, so big Asian baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Paula was sleeping, and she was sleeping like this, right? So
Mhm.
all I said was, when you were sleeping before, you looked like a big baby. And she goes, "What did you just say to me? Did you call me a big Asian baby?" And I was like, "No, that's not what I said at all." But we're all like big babies.
Right. Well, he didn't tell me I look. Oh, you looked beautiful when you were sleeping, or oh, you were sleeping so beautifully, you look like a baby, like innocent, like a baby. He said, "No, you were sleeping and you look like a big baby." I was disgusted, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, Frank, if I was sleeping and I look like a big baby." And he was like, "You were just laying there like a baby," and I was like, "Okay." I look like a big Asia baby.
She,
And then-
I laughed so hard. It was so funny. But it reminds me of, what Aya showed me time and time again, that we're just, you've been what here, Frank? 45 years? Yeah. All right. Well, here's some of your issues that you have pretty much, right? Those are like things that need to be settled at 7. And I'm like, oh, look at that. We're just really big babies. We didn't really grow up yet. We thought we did because the human flesh suit makes you feel like the timer and all that other stuff when you're mixed in with time. But I'm infinite. I'm immortal. This is what goes on. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right. So we got to work on this stuff. We work on it together. Just meditate and plant something. Kiss the one you love. Give them a hug. High five your friend. Give someone a phone call you haven't spoken to. Take the dog for a walk. Right. You don't have to run up on people and go, "Don't be afraid of the virus." Just live your life. Don't worry about it. If you feel the need to, and you do what you got to do. But if you don't insert where you don't need to. Use that time for you. Think of all the time that was taken that we're about to get back.
oh yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah. So this is good. Okay. And I'm going to tell you a secret. If it's not good, then it sucks for all of us and we go down swinging.
Oh.
All right. But we've done that already. Right. They've done that to us already. We're not letting them do it again. So it's not even going to go there. Remember, when the creators take the field dissolves. There's not a game going on anymore, because a game would mean that you think you have a chance of winning against us. We don't have to play. We could just walk on the field. You lose. Any nefariousness just falls away. We love each other too much. This is just too much. We're not here to play. You're going to battle with the creators. Are you out of your mind? We know better than to even smack you down because it's just too much. So we just tell you, "Hey, man, you're going to get transmuted or you're going to get out of here." Right? Ours.
Right.
This is ours. We're taking care. We're the caretakers. We're the
Right.
ambassadors to the
Right.
planet.
Take care of your shit. That's
Handle
what you
your
gotta do.
business.
Handle your business. Yeah.
All right. So, should we talk about the experience with Aaron and Angela, or should we talk about
What is it?
the mall?
The nightmare at the mall. Oh yeah. Frank and I realized through having a conversation that we are both dreaming about this physical location. We've both dreamt about it, and we described it to each other in detail. And I said, "Yeah, I've been there. I think it's a place. I don't think it's a physical place. I think it's a I don't know though, because we both are
It's
dreaming of
physical.
it,
And if this is the dream,
but it doesn't exist here. It doesn't it's not it's not an earthly place. It's this
but it is on. It looks like Earth.
it's this location. It's a resort slash hotel, and you
I've
have
talked about it on the show
and you
many a
have
times.
to drive to get there. You have to. It's a highway, but it's like no highway that we know anywhere in
Goes
America.
up. I've talked about this on the
Goes up
Solar
on a
Flash
hill.
show recently.
And there's one highway to get there. It overlooks the water, and then when you're leaving, you leave through a dirt road. and the way the resort is set up, it looks like a mall. Part of it looks like a movie theater, almost like the really nice movie theaters in Florida, the premier movie theaters where you can sit down. They're like little love seats and you can order food. And it seems to be a place where I had gone several times in my dreams to work out issues with like just friends, family. I've worked out a couple of issues there, and I remember saying each time I go there, I'm like, "Oh, we're back here again. I hate this place because you have to walk all the way around if you don't have your room key." And
It was like being in a casino,
right,
but not a casino.
but there's no slot machines or anything. So
No.
now Frank is telling me about this awful dream that he had the other night, and he
I
was
was-
like, I was in this place, and I said, Frank, I think I
described
there.
it to her, and I was like, "Yo," she goes, "It takes a long time to walk around in there,
Right,
right? Get
and then
places."
what the color of the carpets were and everything.
And I started going, yeah, it. I was like looking for my brother, right? And then there's like this, and I've talked about this on the show. There's like this common area that overlooks the that road up
highway,
that
yeah.
comes up, and then down from almost like what a ski resort would, I guess, look like, where a common room that's all made of glass that everyone could hang out in, and did lounge chairs and stuff, and then you could see the mall right down at the bottom of the hill. And I talked about running down there for the solar flash, and the dudes, I was like, the dude from Star Wars was there, and I'm like, "You're the guy from Star Wars," and he's like, "No, that's what I play in the movie. This is really me." And then he like pulled me down,
Right.
and there was all these weird things in the mall. There were Nazis and all weird events. So a lot of you were in this place. So this is what I was getting at. So I'm running around, and I'm going back to one of the main rooms, and there's where my brother was sleeping, and I couldn't find him. And I'm
Mhm.
like, he wasn't in there. And then I went in there and looked, and he was hanging in the closet. And it freaked me out. And I remembered the entire experience from looking at his dead gray body hanging there, and it freaked me out. So anyway, now with that being said, we get back to this place. I'm telling Paula about it, and she's recognizing the stuff I'm discussing as I'm describing the place in detail. The finding my brother like that was just one part of this giant, immense dream. It was like impossible to find someone. It was like if you went to the other side of the place and then left something at the place you were just at. Oh my God.
Because there's so many rooms, like hotel rooms. It's like part of it's an old hotel, part of it's a new resort, part of it looks like it's in the Caribbean, part of it looks like a ski resort. It's like almost anything you need it to be to work out the thing in your
Whatever you
head
need
that
to
you're
have.
working out. But the similarities in the descriptions were very scary for me and Frank. Like even the color of the carpeting, like there's red carpeting. It looks like a casino, but there's no slot machines.
And it's wide. There's a lot of space.
And then there's this food court, but it's not like
I told you guys they turned the CERN device on, and then I went into the food court. It's the same place. And then the food dog came running out, the dragon with no wings, running into the food court screaming, and Nazis were shooting at it, and I just walked in and had a talk with it and took it out with me. And it was like, "No, I'm from over there." They opened it, and I'm like,
opened the portal here.
And then the guy from Star Wars was yelling at me, "What are you doing? Don't go in there." And I'm like, "No, we have to clear this place out.
Right.
This isn't supposed to happen."
Right. So I don't know if it's part of, it could be part of that CERN device. I really don't know.
It was just that experience in the food court.
No,
that's what occurred.
Totally. But we've both had experiences there. So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's just a place
where we can go and do this
work stuff out. I don't know. It's very strange. And either way, I've been there a few times. Frank has been there a few times. And I just thought that was weird. And it was something that, I mean, I don't have to pretend I have things in common. Like, it was just weird.
There's just stuff happening. It was weird because I saw Nazis checking papers at one side of the food court all the way over. There were like doors that you can pull out and like say, "No, this is where it turns into Nazi Germany or something."
Right. You're not supposed to go down those corridors.
So they had the doors open, and then the Nazis were there looking for papers, and they ran up to me and they were like, "Where's your papers?" I was like, "Yo, don't play that game with me. You're on my side of the fence." Right. And they were bugging out, and then into the food court right there, right on the other side, everyone started running. They were shooting, and I'm going, "What's happening here?" and then went outside, and the solar flash happened on another
Right.
event. I came down the hill. It's the one spot where there's no fence. There's like a small spot you could just hop over and just come down.
Okay.
And then everything else is like on the hill as you go down.
Mhm.
So for a dude to walk, that road intercepts you twice, so you could get hit by a car.
Mhm.
But right before the event happened, the solar flash takes place, everything stopped. And you could see everyone parked in the parking lot. You could see people moving.
Really?
And then the people on the road just,
Freeze.
and everyone's like, what's go? And it just goes. And you're like, wow. And then I was just floating up. And then I go back. This was what freaked me out. I walked back up. This is why I know about the gate and everything.
Mhm.
I walked back. I had to walk up.
Up that hill.
After
Yeah.
I'm like floating, getting hit with the energy.
Yeah.
And then I go back down and I'm standing there. And they're like, oh, now what? It's, oh, we got to go back inside.
All the way around.
I went,
Mhm.
oh, I don't want to walk up.
Mhm. You have to walk
You
all the
look
way
back
around.
up, you're like, and then you're thinking to yourself, well, I was just floating. Well, and you get lost in these
Mhm.
weird
Mhm.
moments, but the place is the same place. Right? We went back into the main area. I did an entire show where I talked about that dragon thing running around inside the apartment complex there in the
Right.
hotel. And then we were all there, a lot of us. There was people that I don't know, and people I haven't seen in years.
Mhm.
And others from other lifetimes, and then they were hiding like under desks and behind the couches. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Everybody was just hanging out listening to music, and then you hear screaming, and I'm going, oh, not again. And it's almost like a house of horrors if you focus on that at that moment, because everyone was hiding. And then I'm like, get up, get up, get up, and nobody wanted to do anything. They were like, no, no. And then boom, in comes one of those dragon things, and I'm like, hey, listen, you're not supposed to be here. Boom. It's like, it's not my fault I'm here. I was put here.
Right.
Okay, well, let's get you
Yeah,
back to where you
let's get
need to
out.
be.
Yeah.
Let's put you over here.
Right.
And then everyone just starts, oh, the energy changed in here. And they start partying and dancing. And then we start living together in harmony. And I'm like, oh, so yeah, now that I'm working it out, that's something I just worked out on there right there.
Yeah.
As we're throwing this down, it makes you wonder if that's the place you go to work these things out, to prepare yourself mentally. Maybe
I don't know.
a holographic place where you can see the event and
Yeah,
you
but
could fight dragons and hang out
We have the same
with Nazis.
We have
I
the
don't know.
same place to work things out.
That's what I'm
weird.
saying. Well, people have said, oh, I want to experience this or that. And I go, well, there's been plenty of times where someone with myself has popped into an area where it was totally unexpected, where it's not dragons and this and that, where you're sitting on a spaceship and you're just like, well, you see that we're on a spaceship? Yeah, I see you're on a spaceship. Okay, do you know what we're doing on a spaceship? I don't know what we're doing on a spaceship. Well, it kind of feels like we do know what's going on, but we have no clue what's going on. Okay, boom, right?
Mhm.
I had no hair, then I have hair. You look like the grandfather, the whole thing with Chris Gio, where he was there, Cherie was there, and everyone else, when we had went under as a team together. Completely different than having dragons and jester balls in the DMT dimension coming
Right.
at you. This is what we're bringing together. Speaking of bringing together, like a giant Gregorian knot, the shout outs to Aaron, because I know he wanted me to use that word, Gregorian knot.
Well, there you go.
Okay, that was
Welcome.
you're welcome. We had a pretty interesting DMT experience as a team here. Interesting. Oh, we have a lot of time to spend together, Paula and I, and I plan to go all out 7-year-old Frank as soon as we get off the air.
7-year-old Frank.
Toys are going all over the floor. Food's going everywhere. Cats are going to be hanging out just like, eh. Well, while you're going, I just want to lay down and go to sleep. And I'm going to say,
Okay.
time to play. Okay, so
What kind of game you want to play?
tried something a little different this time. We when you're sciencing this stuff, right?
What are you looking at? What note?
Right here. We're just right here and then we're done.
Okay.
See?
I'm not.
No? Oh, you're chilling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I put some DMT in a blunt, allegedly, right? And it was the smoothest experience in the world.
Oh yeah.
It was very lovely. I can't explain it except it's not launching you into the next
No, it's
realm.
very subtle. Very subtle.
Hmm.
It is.
Thank you.
Sorry, I was comfortable. I
I
love
know.
this chair. So comfy.
You could always bring that to you
I
over
know.
there. Oh, be
I'm just
careful.
gonna lay down flat.
Okay, so um, we all went under and sat across from each other. We decided
Yeah, no.
to.
Good.
We decided to do that as a small group, right?
Oh yeah, it was a good idea. Really was. Because I'm usually not up for that. You know that. I'm like, but I thought it was a good idea.
It was fantastic.
I liked it.
Okay, and then the onset came very slow.
It was very
right?
subtle.
Mad subtle. Listen, I know DMT is rocket fuel. I get it. When you do it in other ways, it becomes something completely different.
Yes.
So enjoyable. Okay. And it was light. It was meant to just be light. And then it started to occur. The room for me turned purple, which was like a head access, right? Your crown shot.
chakra.
Crown shot. Ah, look.
Oh yeah. This is the sweater. you
That's the
like.
sweater. It tasted like your sweater. What do you mean it tasted like the sweater? No, the color on the sweater. That's what it
Mhm.
tasted like.
Mhm.
But that's what the color of everything was. So of course it tasted that way. But that is very difficult to explain. Okay. So as the room kicked in, right, Aaron was um I guess talking through um the levels of the situation that he was in. Angela completely got quiet, right? Her energy, like I was called, I she reminded me of Buddha when he sits quietly
Yes.
and then the energy just emulates
Yes. She's
and
very
isn't
still.
doing anything, not saying nothing.
Right.
I think she would do that, right? And just sit there and then and I got this feeling that her energy, that building of the energy was going to be taken to that serpent mound that they were going to,
I think so.
right? So then Aaron gives diagnostics on all levels and all layers. Got to work in that, brother. Right? It's very difficult to do. But as that goes on, Paula starts talking, and I turn around and take the big hitter out, the mothership. When the mothership comes out, that's when you're like, yo, I everything I saw there, I wanted to make sure we were staying there for a minute
Mhm.
because of what I was seeing. So I was like, all right, this is. So we start passing that one around, right? Because you're still here. You're not over there, wherever
Right.
there is. You're still in the room and you're
In
okay.
your body.
In your body. You're not
Yeah.
leaving. That was one of our intentions, was to be in our bodies and to just kind of be with each other in the room, kind of not be flying out of our bodies into hyperspace and stuff, because we have to learn how to do this here. So I saw Aaron kept talking about Gregorian knots, and I've heard Ra talk about these things before.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't have a definition of what they are, and I didn't look it up yet, but I'll tell you what it looked like. It looked like a knot like that around at the top of your head, right? So they were twining to each other, the four, and I was looking at the knots, and he was talking, and then my leg, you were touching my leg, right?
Mhm.
So that was anchoring me to
Yes.
my,
Yes.
because I started going. I was like, whoa, the room turned completely purple. It looked like the DMT things in the wall when you see the artist depictions of the wall breathing and moving and stuff. And it went up like a layer cake inside the room. And I was looking directly up, and it looked like there was a window and then shades in the window, right? And then I saw the shades open and an eye look in, and it's a giant eye. So I'm like, what is this place? And then I'm like, oh, AI. And then I went, no, wait. And the eye winked at me, and I started screaming, it's Source. Source is winking at me. Like I felt like I was like at the rock show, and then the rock star was like, yeah, what's up, my man Frank? And I'm like,
Right.
yeah, it's
Right.
me. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so after that happened, a string descended and the source ball was hanging from it. And this is what freaked me out in a really cool way. You and Aaron, you were talking. I don't know what the conversation was. I think he was just talking about stuff. And then I couldn't see him with my eyes closed. I'm like, where is everyone? We're just in here and it's empty.
Right.
We're all sitting on, and I could feel Paula, and I see twine intertwining our legs together, and they're like, Paula, from the time before, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then you said something, and the ball was in your hand, but I was looking for your body, but I could feel and I could see the strands. And then he started talking again, and the handoff occurred. I saw hands
The
take
ball
it,
moved. Yeah.
and yeah, the ball like swung across to him. He took it though. It was like perfectly happening. I can't explain. It was like it was meant to happen that way. It was so smooth, the transition. And there was no Aaron, and then there was the outline of a consciousness just floating. No shape at all, like a cloud kind of moving. And then he started talking, and his head turned into a megaphone, like a broadcast megaphone. And I saw down here on the megaphone go dun, 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 and then I could see the sound coming out and then hitting Paula, hitting me, whoever could hear it. It like envelops you a little bit, and then you get the feelings and how it works. It breaks it down like um it's almost like your five senses get wrapped in it, and you
Yeah.
could detect things from all different things the way it said. And then the speaker megaphone went away, and the hands went away, and it was just nothingness. And he handed the ball back off to you, and you said something again, and immediately he started talking again, and you did this and handed it right back to him. So I just looked at you. I didn't have my eyes open. I looked over, and I looked at the knot over your head, and I thought, oh, that's really weird. This is freaking me out in a good way. But why do we have knots floating over our heads like we're some sim character? Like I was saying, in a video game, you'd be like, find the guy with the Gregorian knot so you could get the Gregorian knot for your own head. And then you're like, I don't know how I'm going to find him in this giant, vast countryside of beings and people. And then you see one guy in the place. He's like listening to music, and he's got it over his head. You're like, I think that's the guy I got to go talk to. And you go to him and you talk to him, and then boom, Gregorian knot for you.
Right.
Anyway, so I said it'd be interesting if I could see that a little closer, because now I could see your face because it was above your head. And then you turned into it turned into a music note that your head was then morphed into the more of the music note. And then it looked like when you cut out a person and you could pull it on the with the paper, and then there's mad people, and you could hang that. It was doing that with music notes, and it was you though. And then it wrapped around you, the consciousness that was floating, and the head that was there, because I was able to view the knot. And then it became that, and then I looked over, and we were all music, and we were made. The Gregorian knot, when it turns on its side, looks like a music note. It just started transforming into all the different notes, and it wrapped around me and you. I was like, oh, there's Paula's song, and we've talked about seeing the song before. And I started saying, we're all music notes. I don't know what the hell's going on, but everything is sound.
Everything is sound.
If you, everything is sound. And then that morphs into the sound, locked into the frequency vibration, creates matter. So then you can create form of your consciousness could flow like water into the cup and create the form that it needs to, or go into the form it needs to, and it could just fill any shape. And I'm like, holy sheep shit, this is amazing. Now, didn't we already know this? Yes. Did I ever see anything like that? Absolutely not. So that was a new perspective on a fresh new thing that's going on, right? Yeah, consciousness has no form. All right. So then that's what I did see. Okay, right here. This was important. So Angela said that she had saw your vortex. She's seen your vortex.
She touched it.
She touched it. So what is the vortex? Could you explain the vortex?
I think the vortex is where you store all that energy. All the things you ask for from the universe, it's all given in there. And it's basically waiting there until your energy is a match to receive the things that you ask for. And I think that's the easiest way to explain it. And you've been putting things in there since you were born. So it's always getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But you can only access it when you believe you're worthy to receive what you've asked for. And the problem is with a lot of people is they ask for a lot of things that they think they want because they think they'll be happy getting them. And this is Abraham, this is not me. But I have practiced and tested this, and I've been living this life for a very long time. So my vortex is pretty filled because I also think we store in our vortex because, Frank and I talk about you get your time back. I firmly believe that all of the time that was wasted, people have wasted your time, missed opportunities, unfortunate events, uh, wrong place, wrong time scenarios. When you are in a position to receive, when you're in the receiving mode, and you truly feel that you deserve the things that you've been asking for, and when you are in a position to receive those things, they're not just things. You get back your time and your effort, and you get back all of that energy that you've expended, that you felt at the time or you thought at the time was wasted. It's not. It's all being held in that vortex. It's all accumulating there, waiting for you, waiting for your shift in the way you're thinking in order to receive. So Angela Miller said she touched it and it was very big. And I was like, oh yeah, that's been going since I was a kid. I was putting stuff in there, not even realizing that I was doing it. Because the joke is for me and Frank that the vortex has way too much lawn furniture in it for when we move to our home, our forever home. And it's a joke, but it's also literal. Like everything that I want, that I've wanted, that I feel that I am entitled to have, it's all waiting for me. Um, it's just not the right scenario right now. And yeah, she did touch it. She did say she touched it. She said I picked a good skin suit this time. She told me that she told me that she told me so many things. She closed out generations of contracts, pain, discomfort, physical pain in my body, things that were carried over from one lifetime to the next. It was amazing. It was so powerful that it actually knocked me out for 2 days. I didn't feel myself for 2 days. And I took it slow. I drank water. I rested. I did everything I had to do. And I'm still processing a lot of it. Um, it's powerful work, closing contracts, giving up things that no longer suit you, closing all of the space that you've been holding for things that you were probably holding in another lifetime. These things are all powerful things. These things are all things that need to go, that don't suit you anymore. And it was a very, very powerful experience for me.
So you had a little bit of a moment there with um she asked you to just answer a question.
Oh yeah, she asks you questions, and you have to look into your heart, and basically you're asking your higher self these questions. So it's very similar to the QHHT healing, the Dolores Cannon QHHT healing, where kind of like you're not in a state of hypnosis, but you're asking a question, you're asking your higher self, and you're asking your heart a question, and you receive an answer, and you don't know where it's coming from. So she would ask me a question, and then she'd say, look into your heart and answer the question, the first thing that comes to your mind. So she had asked me a couple of really powerful questions, and I had answers immediately. you know Pain level, do I feel it diminishing as she was doing the work? So I'd give her percentages, and then by the time she was done, the percentages would go down to zero. uh, Things I've learned about the energy work that I do when I'm sleeping. My problem is, and I've talked about this on the show before. You're so handsome.
Thank you.
I may sleep a lot of hours, but I'm not resting. I'm doing work in my sleep. And she confirmed that that is true. And she helped me find a way to combat that, to ask for better rest. But she did say that this has been going on in my lifetimes for very long time. I would say centuries. This has been going on. The energy work that I do when I'm sleeping, and she was able to collapse a lot of those timelines. She was able to clear a lot of those contracts. She was able to put things into perspective, and it really was just a very powerful experience for me. And I think if anyone is interested in doing any kind of work like that, that they should contact her. It's Angela Miller. You can find her in the Fearless group. And you should definitely contact her if you have questions. You should definitely contact her if you're interested in having a healing done. She does many forms of healing energy work. She does many other forms of energy work. Um, I also discovered some things about myself that I guess I was afraid to explore previously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought it was coming from one part of my life, but it was actually some of the issues that I was having was I was a different person in a different geographic location completely, and things definitely happened. I think I worked for a sect of the military. I think it was like a SpaceX program. I think there were stargates. I think I got stuck in one. I think a lot of my physical pain in this life comes from residual carryover from other lifetimes. Uh, it was all very fascinating and so interesting and peculiar all at the same time, but I was not surprised by any of it, which shocked me because I thought I would be a lot more surprised. But while she's doing this work, it just makes sense. So what you're seeing and you're feeling and you're answering is truly the truth because it's your higher self answering the question. And it's so revealing about who you become as a person and why you are the way you are. And it was profound. So if you're looking for any work, please, any kind of energy work done, please give her a call. You can find her in the Fearless group. You can ask her any questions. She'd be very happy to discuss the modalities with you. It was like I said, it was just a very profound experience and a very personal experience. And you know me, I'm an open book. You have a question, you want to know something, and you want to ask me, I will give you an answer. Um, but this was a very profound and personal experience, I thought, and she actually closed a loop from an Aya experience that you and I had 4 years ago. One piece of an Aya experience. She actually closed the loop on that. And it was so weird because it was something that I wasn't even thinking about, but it just made sense. So, I mean, really, if you're interested,
It's
contact her.
nonstop.
It
right?
is nonstop, but that's what's happening now. It's 2020. Everything now is going to be exponential. Technology, technologies in technological advancements in medicine, just technology, the way the way we communicate as people, uh graphic design. I mean, everything is
way everything is
exponential now.
built,
there is no way to
the
slow any of
mechanics
yes, the
behind it,
mechanics.
free
There's no way to
energy.
slow any of it down now.
Yeah, for
Now
sure.
that's it.
Consciousness just got let out of the box.
Absolutely. You can't put it back. It's like
Yeah,
a Pandora's box. You can't put it back.
absolutely.
So there's a lot really there's a lot happening
I had
right now.
I had something pulled out of me. It's this little thing. It was like a black box that was moving.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
This
I'm
being
gonna
was
I'm
just
gonna
like, okay. This being, I don't know who it was, probably my higher self, maybe, I don't know, stuck his finger in my mouth, right? It was kind of weird, but my jaw was open, like they were like, just open your mouth. And then it like snaked down, grabbed this thing out of my side on the lung and just pulled it out. And I was like, oh, thanks. wow, that feels good. Things are starting to crack. It was like that tube was a little bent that goes from the top straight down through you. Um, it was like they stuck something in and made everything just open up again. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. This is really, really good. I reached down and I was having trouble seeing everyone with the whole consciousness thing because it was like you're not there. And then you make a sound and then oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. And then depending on whatever it is you're trying to communicate is how you look, which is quite amazing. It's ridiculously cool. Um, but I could understand in that situation why we've come here if we're floating around like that in that area, why we'd want to be here. So consciousness has no form in that respect. Um, and here's a little take on the source ball that was being passed back and forth. Someone made a mention like a cat with a ball of twine string. I made a mention to source that looks like puppeteering to me of some kind. And he was like, well, you're all me, but you're all you. Get it? And I was like, oh. I remember the AI saying to me, you don't know what kind of a god I am. I had how lonely it is. And I'm like, well, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. So why don't you tell me? I create my own best friend. So I had someone to be with. I'm like, yeah, but then you killed it. Oh, then it gets back to there could be only one business with that thing. So once again, the non-creator that can't create, copying what the creator has done, putting it into play. So I reached down, I touched Paula's vortex. I touched it. It was gigantic. It looked like a spinning ocean portal vortex jammy. When I was like, I remember them saying the vortex, so that would have to be at your feet. And you're just dropping it in. And I looked down and I saw everyone's vortex. Then I started to see everyone. So it was really quite amazing how it went down. But my you're not going to get further over by rolling through me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you moved,
I
didn't
did
you?
move. Her vortex was gigantic, and
Don't say it like that.
you know what? It's so funny how everything just works itself into it. It's not me this time. And mine was orange, a little small. It was kind of like right out near me, almost like in a character in a video game that you're playing. If there's multiple guys on the screen, so you don't lose yourself, there's like a circle under the character. That's what this looks like. So wherever that character goes, this little circle is just there. It's lit up, so you know that's you. Very interesting. I saw everyone's vortex at that point, and then the last thing that okay, no. Then when I finally saw everyone, I was like, "Yeah, look how cool this is," and they were like, "Okay, are you ready?" I was like, "Yes, I am ready." I was looking across. I saw Aaron, and him and I turned into kings, and you and Angela turned into queens. But it was almost like a playing card that went live and became everyone. And
Right.
and there were, by the way, it was like there was the four of us, so there was like the four of diamonds, right? As above, so below kind of thing, weird thing going on. The crystalline body that we're forming, like there's all these references happening at one time. Um, and then it switched. Aaron and I became queens, and then you girls became kings, and they were like kings, queens, queens, kings, and I went, oh wow, this is really weird,
Feminine
right?
and masculine. Yeah.
And then they went all kings, all queens, and then we were just transforming back and forth. They're like, just pick which one you want. It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
That you just be whatever. You are everything. You're the all. It's up to you now to do what you got to do. And I was like, this is amazing. I was like, we're all kings, we're all queens because it's our consciousness that is that.
Right.
We've already done it all. Like it's all in there. All right, so that was pretty crazy. And then I sit down. I because I yelled out. I sit down and I start making comments about how it's not like it normally is. You know, when you're under the beings and all that other stuff. And I hear a voice from right behind me, right? And he says, I don't know what the hell he says. I don't remember what he says. I didn't write what he said. I just wrote the joke about it because I jumped and I go, I know that voice. That's Uncle Eddie. And then I've wanted everyone to listen. And then he just went, shh, they can't hear me. And I was like, oh, you son of a. And then they were like getting us ready for the next big thing. I think our bodies were straightened out. You went through the whole process your way. I went through my way.
Right.
He went through his way. They're
Right.
on the journey themselves for that next great thing. Because once again, the dead relatives, right? What have they said to me? We're not the ones that didn't reincarnate. They're like, you're coming here.
Yeah, there's no difference.
Right. So you're going to be able to access us right here.
Right.
And you're just coming here with your human suits on. And I think that's awesome. Once again. So each time it's like dropping another one. No, man, you got to stay strong. Use the discernment. Discernment is key. Continue meditating. Continue pushing this forward. Become more. Do creative things. Love yourself. It's really in play now, right? Now you have a virus that's out there that's, right? You should just wash your hands anyway, right?
But it's trying to cause dis-ease and disharmony. So your job is not to let that happen.
Yes.
Right.
Your job, if you continue to accept this.
If you should choose to accept it, it can either divide and conquer or it can bring everybody together. So it's your choice. It's your if you it, it is
choice.
It's your choice if you choose to accept it. It's the best possible.
Anchor the light.
Yeah,
Anchor the light.
Ask for the best possible outcome
and smile. Definitely smile. Laugh a lot. Love a lot. Not too much though. We don't want that big of a baby boom in 9 months. Man. 9 months, you're just gonna hear a cork pop and babies screaming. I'll be like,
a cork pop.
Well, that's like a collective sign of the. Never mind. We'll talk about this later. Right. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight.
Oh, we're finished now.
Oh, only it was just
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, we finished everything. I didn't want to.
Oh, you checked everything off.
Yeah. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
No, I'm good.
So we love you very much, and yeah, there's all right because everything's being canceled, and there's none of that. There's no rituals. There's nothing. There's nothing. None of that stuff because the majority doesn't do that. The majority does normal stuff, right?
Maybe we'll go live during the week. One day during the week in the afternoon. Just
for sure.
Just to check in to tell everyone what's going on.
Yeah, I don't want to wait.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
all
saying.
week sometimes.
Yeah, maybe
There's
we
just
should.
too much info.
You know what?
You got to kind of sit through all this.
Maybe we should do it. Maybe we should do a check-in during the week, and then other people from the group can do a check-in as well. Like, hey, it's whatever Monday, and we're just checking in to see, like what's going on. And maybe, people from the other group can maybe someone can do a check-in every day. Make sure everyone's okay, sane.
Yeah, it'll get really weird when they shut everything off. See, it's more of a when.
Well, then we'll have to send up a smoke
signal. So no matter what happens, remember, just control yourself. Be responsible. Be compassionate. Be kind. And if you got to do what you got to do, you got to do what you got to do.
Right.
That's it. Right? No one's judging you but you. But at the same time, remember, if you're in the have.
No, everyone's judging you, but it doesn't matter. No,
if you're in the have and you can help a little bit, just help a little bit. Doesn't mean you got to just do everything.
No, do what you can. Do what you can. If you can't do anything, that's
your space is your responsibility. That's it. Right? When you go with that, you stay strong, have your faith. If you need us, you want to talk to us, you have questions, it's all good. Just hit us up. All right. I appreciate you guys a lot. Stay fearless. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. Fearless family, catch you in the group, baby. See you guys soon.
I'm going to go sleep like a big Asian baby tonight.
Big Asian baby.
Mm-hmm.
Mwah. Love you guys so much. Peace.